Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with myself, Ed, and we've also got Thomas.
How you doing?
And so this time we're talking some more Battlefield Hardline. Uh, as you know, the beta on the PlayStation 4 and the PC is now finished. So we're just gonna kind of wrap it up, then leave it at that, and we're gonna chat on some general things. So Thomas, seems like you ended up playing a heck of a lot more than I did after our last video. So clearly you're a big fan.
I think I spent probably somewhere between 12 and 15 hours playing this beta. Way more than I thought I would at the beginning. Because at the beginning when I first started playing it, I really honestly kind of hated it. Like, it was kind of buggy, it was glitchy, it crashed on me a few times, I wasn't having fun. It certainly wasn't like Heat, which they had kind of pitched it as. But near the end, I mean, I would, like, anytime I had like a spare like 15 to 20 minutes, all I wanted to do was just hop into heist mode and go steal the bag and, drive away, and explosions everywhere. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, usually I don't get 15 to 20 hours out of a beta like you did. Or like not 15 to 20, 12 to 15 you said. The exception probably being Destiny there, which I'm not even sure about. But so we're going to talk about some general stuff before we started recording. Well, let's say we lost the recording into the ether. So
May it rest in
yeah, we got
peace.
this one. So we were talking about how the destructibility is a lot lower in this one, and I feel like it's impacted in a positive way because, like we were talking about in the last one, was how you can now go into a lot more buildings, and this has created kind of a smaller map, but in essence, it feels kind of big still, and
It's dense. There's a lot you can
yeah,
do in it. Like, if you're running and looking for an escape route, I mean, you're almost guaranteed that, there's an alleyway near you, or, the building you're near, you can just kind of break the glass door and just kind of keep running. Like, all the times when I was just running as fast as I could to the drop point just felt really cinematic, because anywhere I looked, there was a place to go, which I feel like is really rare in shooters like this. Like, usually it's just so cordoned off and nothing is, you can't destroy anything, you can't go in any building, but here you could. And I think that smaller size and that sort of reduced just destructibility, or at least more focused, I think really helped the game a lot.
yeah, I definitely agree. I think what you'd find in a lot of the old battlefields is a lot of okay. Even I found there's chunks of downtime in this game, but even if you compare it back to 3 and 4 and 2 and a lot of those other games, there's just it feels like it's a lot tighter, a lot closer together, a lot less, working for a kill basically, or working to find a kill, or some, or working to get to the objective again. Like,
Yeah,
um,
there's no guarantee on how big the next, maps are going to be, but at least for this one, you're right. I mean, even if, like, I spawned and there were no vehicles, it wasn't that far of a run, which, in some Battlefield 4 maps, like, I would, if I couldn't get a vehicle, I just wouldn't spawn, because, I mean, it's going to take me, like, 5 or 10 minutes just to trek across the map just to get shot by a sniper, and then I have to respawn. Here, I mean, if I spawn and there's no vehicle, I mean, it's going to take me like 2 minutes to get to the center of the action, so it's not that big of a deal.
yeah, and I think on that note, we should talk some vehicles because I was one of the things that's always turned me off about Battlefield is the fact that there are vehicles in the game at all. Um, I hate vehicles in an infantry-focused game.
Like, completely. Like,
For the most part, like I don't mind if they have like vehicles strictly for transportation, but I'm not so fond of armored vehicles. Um,
yeah, the armored
but
vehicles in this are definitely a little much, and it sounds like, at least from the article they put out saying that they're changing things, what they learned from this beta, it sounds like the armored vehicles are probably going to get something that will appease your taste more, in that they'll have like weak points, which I mean Battlefield has always had weak points in the heavily armored vehicles, so it's a little confusing why they weren't already like in there. But you're right. I mean those. I mean you see it in a couple of the clips that I had here. I mean you can run over people, and there's kind of nothing they can do about it unless they have a, like a rocket launcher or a C4 or something.
Yeah. Um, what I will say, even without the changes, is the fact that there's only one armored vehicle on a side is extremely helpful. Because I find like even if you do run into a car, chances are you can at least shoot the driver or something. You feel like you're still an ant, but it's more like against like a termite or something. It's not against like a friggin' giant Goliath beetle or something. Like, it's a little bit more evened up, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I also look forward to the changes because if any, like we know this is a beta, so there are things that need to be fixed. And one of the other things we were talking about before we started was the fact that although you, Thomas, kept playing, I actually stopped playing this beta entirely.
Which is crazy to me because I had so much fun near the end.
And I had a lot of fun too, but then I stopped.
Yeah.
And I did something crazy again. I went back and I played Call of Duty Ghosts, which I still believe is probably the worst Call of Duty ever made, aside from the Black Ops Declassified and 3, but that's another story, another time. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of comparing the action and what's going on, and although this video clip may have a crap load of action, it's still not the same as Ghosts. And
yeah, I'd like to reassure our viewers that any time that this clip will cut and it fades to black, there's an immediate death at the end of it, and then I'll run for another 2 or 3 minutes to get back to the action to get another clip. So don't go into this game expecting to see fast-paced action like that. This is certainly not Call of Duty. You're right about that.
No, and you know what? That's fine, because I think if they left the game like pretty much like it is right now, I'd be perfectly happy with it. Even though I'm a Call of Duty vet, I still found it like at least a lot more enjoyable to play this game than, say, Battlefield 4, which I had a lot of issues with. Like issues as in unplayable, but again, that's not seeming to be the case with this. But the action is a lot more constrained and everything, and I feel like maybe this has found a nicer balance for the style of game that Battlefield is, and it can bridge over and get other fans that typically would not have picked up Battlefield.
Yeah, it's nice having a more focused experience because Battlefield is really sprawling, and I mean if you're not kind of paying attention, you don't even know where to go sometimes. I mean the maps are so huge, and now it's nice that there's just, since it is an objective-based game, I mean there's always a focal point of what you should be doing. You should always be getting the money, or you should be going and picking up the bag or killing the guy with the bag. You always know where to go and what to do, and that's kind of rare for Battlefield. I feel like it seems like a lot of people always have a lot of confusion on what they should be doing and where they should be going.
Well, I feel like that's games in general.
Yeah.
I feel like you got like 60-70% of players kind of focused in on the game mode, fighting each other, and then you got those like 10-20% of guys kind of off in a corner somewhere doing their own thing, and but it's good that no matter where you're on the map, pretty much you're in it, and whether you want to or not, you're in it. So that's a change. I know some people aren't so fond of that, but for someone who's worn out on Infinity Ward, I'm rather glad to see that.
Yeah.
And one of the last things we're talking about game modes and before we started, and I think you're firmly in the position that Battlefield is an objective game right? Whereas other series are team deathmatch, and I think this is really working to show to show the game modes in the best possible light.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Battlefield, you go to Battlefield for the objective modes. You go for Conquest, you go for Rush. Like, I mean, a lot of people play Team Deathmatch, but it wasn't really built. To me, it doesn't seem like it was built for that. So, like, I'm sure they'll have those modes in here later, but I mean, right now, all they're showing off are these two objective modes, and that's kind of what I go to Battlefield for. It's just it's a more focused experience. There's chaos, but it's controlled. Like everyone is rolling to the same point, and they're all in helicopters or tanks. That's kind of what makes Battlefield special to me.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that it's probably player counts anywhere from twice as many to like what 4 or 5 times as many as other games makes it even more impressive too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're gonna about end it here, guys or everyone. Do you have any kind of finishing thoughts here, Thomas?
I don't think this is going to be I really enjoyed it. I don't know that I'll buy it the first day it comes out, but I'm really looking forward to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered it. I've already reconsidered that kind of I guess a little early, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see how this turns out because this is one of those that it could be really great and it could really redefine what this generation of shooting games is going to be. In some way, not completely, but in some way. But it's not quite there yet. But we gotta wait and see, right? So with that, we're gonna end this episode of Let's Talk. Visit Population Go for more, and if you guys want to see anything specifically in next episodes, let us know in the comments, and hey, you might see it. Thanks, everyone.